Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain the topic constant mesh gearbox. Till now I have explained different types of transmission systems, and I have tell you the different classification of transmission systems like manual gearbox, automatic gearbox, and semi-automatic gearbox. Out of which I have explained you that manual gearbox is further classified as sliding mesh gearbox, constant mesh gearbox, and synchronous gearbox. And out of that I have explained in my last lecture I have explained you about the sliding mesh gearbox. Now the constant mesh gearbox. Before explaining the constant mesh gearbox, I want to explain that what are the disadvantage, or we can say that what are the drawbacks of our sliding mesh gearbox. Just because of that I have needs to develop another gearbox, and which is known as constant mesh gearbox. The basic drawback was in our sliding mesh gearbox was the use of spur gear. Just because of the use of spur gears, there was much amount of noise was produces, and also the mechanical transmission efficiency was also lower. So to enhance that losses and to get better meshing and getter power, quite power transmission, we need constant mesh gearbox. As we see here, in constant mesh gearbox, helical gears are used. Just because of see that these are the helical gears, again helical gears, again helical gears. But in few cases we uses spur gears, like in our first gear arrangement, and in idler gear arrangement, or we can say that in case of reverse gear arrangement. Just because of that, in case of first gear, and the speed is very less. And one more thing, in case of first gear, heavy amount of torque is required. So the spur gears are used, because in the case of spur gear much amount of torque can be produced. And now we going to explain what is the you can say the constant mesh gearbox. As the name implies, the constant mesh gearbox. So the constant mesh gearbox means the constant meshing between the gears all maintained in this type of constant mesh gear. I will explain the different component of this type of gear, basic working of this constant mesh gearbox. uh, Now the first component is input shaft, from which the power is transferred, or you can say the shaft which is connected to the engine is known as input shaft. After input shaft, a gear which is attached, and this is the gear is again attached to the lay shaft. Then this is the input shaft, and the lower shaft is the lay shaft, in which different gears are mounted, and these gears are attached with the input shaft gears. So if you see that the input shaft gear, these are all the gears are helical gear, as we see here. So in the input shaft gear and this is lay shaft gear, both are attached by one another, and this is again constant meshing between these two gears, and again the constant meshing between these two gears. Further, if we are talking about, this is the spur gear, and this spur gear is attached with, is not attached with the first gear. This is the first gear arrangement, as we show here. This is the first gear arrangement, this one is for the second gear arrangement, this one is the third gear arrangement, and this one is the fourth gear arrangement. So in, if you see about this constant gearbox, so in this type of gearbox, this is a four, in this type of gear there are four forward gear and one reverse gear arrangement is available. And in this system, the second, third, and fourth gear are already meshed, or constantly meshed. That's why it is known as the constant gearbox. While in the case of first gear or in reverse gear, the gears are not meshed previously, or already these gears are not meshed. And in this case, the gears which are used are spur gears. Further, at the end of this system, the output shaft are available. From this, the power is given to the propeller shaft, and at the upper end, the selector fork, you can say, or you can say selector fork attached to the control lever, which is the control, or you can say which provide power to the different gear system. The most important component in this type of gear, constant gearbox, is the dog clutch. Yes, I will separately tell you. This is the dog clutch, and the dog clutch is the most important component, and the dog clutch is available in both, you can say the dog clutch is available in both type of system, like you can say in the gear system also and in the selector system also. And when you want to miss this gear, so as I have told you that in case of spur gear, when you no, sorry, as I have told you, in case of sliding with gearbox, the sliding of gears takes, and due to the sliding, these two spur gears are attached with one another, and the driving gear, yeah, or you can say the driving gear given power to the driven gear, and these both two gears are rotated due to the influence of the first gear. But in this type of gear, when the dog slash are available and these two gears are already attached, so in this type of system, when the input shaft is rotated, the latch shaft is already rotated, and these two gears, this gear and this gear and all the different types of gear sets are rotated with each other. And according to our need, when we want to transfer the power, then these dogs are attached, or uh, in case of constant gearbox, instead of meshing of gears, there is the meshing of you can say meshing of dogs takes place, due to which the combination, or you can say the joining of the gear will takes place. So now I am going to explain the working of the constant mesh gearbox. In constant mesh gearbox, when we need to apply the first gear, first of one after another, I will explain the different types of gear, first, second, third, and fourth, the whole working. First, I am going to explain the first gear. When you apply the first gear, we move the sector into the rightward direction. When the selector is moved into the rightward direction, just because of that, in this type of system, there is no any type of constant missing. So, and splines are also available in this type of shaft, as you see here, they are the splines are available. So there moves on the splines, and due to this motion, the when the first, in the case of first gear, the gear which has higher number of teeth is with attached with the gear which has lesser number of teeth, or in this case both gear are attached. Just because of this attachment, the input shaft is rotated, which is gets power from the engine, and due to that, the latch shaft is also rotated, and due to the rotation of the latch shaft, this small spur gear is rotated, and this gear gives power to this larger gear. And due to this, when this small gear give power to the larger gear, then in this case, I have already told you, when the small gear is a driver gear and the driven gear is a larger in size, then heavy amount of torque is generated at the output, and the low speed is we gain. So in this case, when the small spur gear is attached with the higher spur gear, in the case of first gear arrangement, so the high amount of torque will be produced, and this with the help of this torque, output shaft is rotated, and we get heavy amount of torque at the propeller shaft. Now if you want to arrange again the case of second gear, so in this case of second gear, sector moves from right to left position. So in this position, the splines which are attached with the first gear are uh, cut, and the dogs, and I have already told you, just because of all these gears are attached with one another and another, so by the speed by which the input shaft is rotated, input gear is rotated, due to the influence of that, the output gear number 2 is also rotated, and this both are gear rotated, but this gear is free into the output shaft. This is a fairly rotated into the output shaft, and now we want to transmit the power. So to transmit the power, we move the selector into the left direction, due to which these dogs, I have told you that this type of these dogs and these dogs are meshed with each other, and due to the meshing of these two dogs, the gear, rotation of gear is you can say fixed with the output shaft, and the rotational speed of the gear is provided to the output shaft, and output shaft is already rotated with the same velocity by which this gear number 2 gear is rotated. So this is the shifting of gear number 2. In this case, again we see that the output gear size is higher than the input gear size, output gear size is higher than the input gear size means torque is higher, but the output gear size is lesser than the gear number 1 size, so less amount of torque or high amount of speed will be obtained. Now if you want to, if you have to make or if you can say attach the third gear, so in case of third gear, now this sector moves into the rightward direction due to these two dogs are attached with one another, and due to which the rotation of this third gear is attached with the output shaft, due to which the rotation or the rotation speed of this gear, of this third gear, is given to the output shaft, and output shaft will be rotated with same speed by which the gear number the gear block or your gear cylinder 3 will be is rotated. And in case of fourth gear, again the same case will be applied, but now and the selector is moving to the leftward direction, due to which these two dogs are meshed with each other, and in this case again the power is transmitted to the output shaft. So these are the different arrangement. They are, yeah, you can say that the different dogs, the meshing of dogs by which the gear movement is attached with the movement of the output shaft, and the rotational velocity of the gear the is provided to the output shaft. Now if we talk about the reverse gear system, so in case of reverse gear system, you have seen here that this is the reverse gear system, and when the reverse gear is provided, then this sector, yeah, this selector you can say is moved to the leftward direction, due to which the smaller spur gear is attached with the idler, and idler is attached to the reverse gear system, due to which if the propeller shaft, yeah, you can say that if the lead shaft is rotated in clockwise direction, then idler will rotate in anti-clockwise direction, and due to which the attached gear, you can say the reverse gear is again rotated into the clockwise direction, so the same motion will be obtained. And in other words, we can say the reversal of motion is obtained in comparison to different gear system. So the reversal of a vehicle, or you can say the backward movement of the vehicle, can be obtained with the help of this reverse gear. So this is the working of constant mesh gearbox, where constantly meshing of the gear is takes place, and helical gears are used, due to which less noise is generated and more mechanical efficiency or mechanical power transmission can be obtained. But out of these advantages, the constant mesh gearbox has one disadvantage, due to which there is further modification is needed, and the further modification was in the form of synchro mesh gearbox. So before going for the further improvement of in the constant mesh gearbox, first of all I will discuss what are the disadvantage or what are the losses in this constant mesh gearbox. So the basic disadvantage or basic loss in this type of constant mesh gearbox is double declutching. What is the meaning of double declutching? Double declutching means आपको दो बार डीक्लच करना होगा, दो बार क्लच को डिसंगेज करना होगा पावर को या गियर को एक बार गियर को मेंटेन करने के लिए, तो इसी को कहते हैं डबल डीक्लचिंग. नाउ आई विल सी हियर in the sliding mesh gearbox, the two meshing gears needed to be revolved in equal peripheral speed to achieve a jerkless slide engagement. The same is true for constant gear mesh gearbox, in which the peripheral speed of the sliding dog and the corresponding gears on the output shaft must be equal. Yes, देखिए यहाँ पहले बात करते हैं हम. अगर हम स्लाइडिंग मिस गियर बॉक्स की बात कर रहे थे, तो वहाँ पर क्या था, जब आपका एक गियर को दूसरे गियर से आपको अटैच करना होता था, तो आप गियर को स्लाइड करते थे. इस गियर को लिया, आपको मान लीजिए किसी को कोई गियर लगाना है, तो आपने ये आपका ड्राइविंग, ये आपका लेफ्ट शाफ्ट का गियर था, और ये आपका गियर जो आपको प्रोवाइड करना था. तो लेफ्ट शाफ्ट का गियर ऑलरेडी रोटेट कर रहा था, क्योंकि वो इंजन शाफ्ट से आपका अटैच है, और जो आपकी पावर आपको प्रोवाइड करनी है प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट को, जो आपको उससे अटैच गियर है, उसको जब आप इस पर स्लाइड कराते थे, तो उसके पहले आपको रिक्वायरमेंट आपकी होती थी कि जो भी लेफ्ट शाफ्ट के गियर की रोटेशन स्पीड है और जो प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट की रोटेशन स्पीड है, वो आपकी नियर अबाउट इक्वल होनी चाहिए. अगर आपकी इक्वल स्पीड नहीं होगी, तो उस केस में क्या होगा कि आपका गियर की रोटेशन या लेफ्ट शाफ्ट की रोटेशन बहुत ज़्यादा है, और आपका जो प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट अटैच गियर है रोटेशन स्पीड कम है, तो इन दिस केस आपकी रबिंग होगी, और इस रबिंग की वजह से क्या होगा, एक्सेसिव नॉइस प्रोड्यूस होगी, साथ साथ में गियर टीथ के ब्रेकेज के चांसेस आपके बहुत ज़्यादा होंगे, जिसकी वजह से गियर की मेंटेनेंस आपको ज़्यादा रिक्वायर्ड होगी, और गियर की मेंटेनेंस बहुत कॉस्टली होती है। तो उसको ओवरकम करने के लिए फर्दर आपने डॉग सिस्टम को यूज़ किया। डॉग सिस्टम के केस में भी सेम प्रॉब्लम है, जो आपका डॉग्स का रोटेशन, क्योंकि देखिए डॉग्स के केस में आपका क्या है, अगर हम कॉन्स्टेंट गियर बॉक्स की बात करते हैं, तो कॉन्स्टेंट गियर बॉक्स के केस में जो आपके गियर्स हैं ये तो आपके ऑलरेडी मेश्ड हैं, इनको तो मेश करने की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है, जस्ट सो आपका यहाँ पर आपके गियर्स की रबिंग के चांसेस नहीं है। यहाँ पर चांसेस किस चीज़ के हैं, आपके डॉग्स के रोटेशन के हैं। ये डॉग्स और ये आपके आउटवर्ड डॉग्स, जो आपके दोनों साइड के डॉग्स आपके हैं, जो एक डॉग्स जो आपका आउटपुट शाफ्ट से अटैच है, जो सेकंड डॉग्स जो आपका गियर से अटैच है, इन दोनों डॉग्स के रोटेशन स्पीड आपकी सेम होगी, तो वहाँ पर बेटर स्लाइडिंग होगी। अगर रोटेशन स्पीड आपकी वेरी कर रही है, तो एक ज़्यादा से रोटेट कर रहा है, एक कम स्पीड रोटेट कर रहा है, जिसकी वजह से जब आप टच करोगे तो वहाँ पर रबिंग होगी, और उस रबिंग की वजह से डॉग्स आपके ब्रेक होंगे, डॉग्स आपके घिसेंगे, और जल्दी से जल्दी आपको डॉग्स की मेंटेनेंस रिक्वायर्ड होगी। क्योंकि डॉग्स की मेंटेनेंस करना इजी है इन कंपैरिजन टू गियर, कम कॉस्टलियर है, सो डॉग्स का आप इजली आप मेंटेन कर सकते हो। ये एक अगेन एक एडवांटेज है कॉन्स्टेंट गियर बॉक्स का। लेकिन एक डिसएडवांटेज यहाँ पर है। द डिसएडवांटेज दिस, अगर आप बात करो गियर के केसेस में, तो गियर के केसेस में साइजेस का उतना ज़्यादा डिफरेंस नहीं है। जो आपका ले शाफ्ट का गियर है और जो आप प्रोपेलर शाफ्ट का गियर है, दोनों में साइज का उतना डिफरेंस नहीं है। तो स्लाइटली अगर साइज आपके वेरी कर रहे हैं, थोड़ा सा वेरिएशन है, तो मीन्स स्पीड में भी थोड़ा वेरिएशन होगा। जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ डैट आई हैव एक्सप्लेन यू दैट d2/d1 इज इक्वल टू n1/n2। तो अगर डायमीटर में वेरिएशन जितना ज़्यादा होगा, उसी के अकॉर्डिंग आपका स्पीड वेरिएशन होगा। और चूंकि डायमीटर में ज़्यादा वेरिएशन नहीं है, तो स्पीड में ज़्यादा वेरिएशन नहीं होगा। लेकिन अगर यहाँ पर हम केस में देखते हैं कॉन्स्टेंट गियर बॉक्स के केस में, तो जो आपका इस गियर से अटैच जो आपका डॉग है, उसका स्पीड, उसका क्योंकि डायमीटर ज़्यादा है, इस गियर का डायमीटर ज़्यादा है, तो उसका आपका उसकी रोटेशन स्पीड ज़्यादा होगी। और जो आपका लोअर पार्ट है, जो आपका शाफ्ट से अटैच आपका है, जो आपका आउटपुट शाफ्ट से अटैच है, इसका डायमीटर कम है, तो यहाँ पर आपकी रोटेशन स्पीड आपकी डिफरेंट होगी। क्योंकि डायमीटर बहुत ज़्यादा डिफरेंट आपका हो रहा है, तो रोटेशन स्पीड आपकी बहुत ज़्यादा डिफर होगी, और उसको बैलेंस करने के लिए आपको 2 बार डी क्लच करना पड़ता है, 2 बार क्लच को डिसएंगेज करना पड़ता है। यही प्रोसेस कहलाती है आपकी डबल डी क्लचिंग। नाउ आई एम गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन। इन केस ऑफ डिफरेंट डॉग्स, द पेरिफेरल स्पीड इज इक्वल टू the peripheral speed v is equal to pi d1 n1 is equal to pi d2 n2, pi d is equal to एरिया और आपका पेरीमीटर पेरीफेरी, और n आपका रोटेशनल स्पीड। where d1 n1 is equal to pitch circle diameter and revolution of the gear, जो गियर आपका रोटेट कर रहा है, जिससे डॉग आपका अटैच है, उसका रोटेशन स्पीड या उसकी पेरिफेरल स्पीड। और सेकंड केस में अगर हम बात करते हैं, इफ यू टॉक अबाउट d2n2, देन d2n2 इज द पिच सर्किल डायमीटर एंड रिवोल्यूशन ऑफ द डॉग। जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट d1 इज डज नॉट इक्वल टू d2। आपका इफ यू टॉकिंग अबाउट द डायमीटर ऑफ द गियर एंड द डायमीटर ऑफ द डॉग्स आर नॉट इक्वल, देयर इज अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस बिटवीन दिस टू diameters. Just because of that, n1 does not equal to n2, and we want here that the n1 will be equal to n2, or n1 will be I needed that n1 will be near about equal to the n2. So in that case, when you mix these two dogs, then there will be less amount of you can say that rubbing, or uh, you can say that rubbing, I can use word, this takes place. Now the difference in the speed of the gear and the dog's necessity the use double decliching। तो ये जो आपके बेसिकली जो स्पीड में डिफरेंस आपका हो रहा है गियर्स के और डॉग्स से, इसी को बैलेंस करने के लिए हम यूज़ करते हैं डबल डिक्लचिंग मेथड को। अब डबल डिक्लचिंग मेथड क्या है, देखिए जरा यहाँ समझिए। डबल डिक्लचिंग में हमें 2 बार डिक्लच करना पड़ता है, 2 बार क्लच को डिसएंगेज करना पड़ता है। जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ दैट इट इज़ नोन एज डबल डिक्लचिंग मेथड। In case of double declutching method, just because of I am assuming a simple case, मान लीजिए आपका कोई व्हीकल आपका लेस स्पीड पर चल रहा है और आपको उसको हाई स्पीड पर ट्रांसमिट करना है। तो जैसे लो स्पीड से हाई स्पीड पर जाना होगा, तो आप क्या करोगे, आपको नॉर्मल केसेस में हमें करना होता है, गियर कोई आपका लगा हुआ है, आपने गियर को आपने फर्दर क्लच दबाया, क्लच दबा के आपने जो इंजन से पावर आपको गियर सिस्टम को या ट्रांसमिशन सिस्टम को पावर मिल रही थी, उसको आप डिक्लच करते हो, और आप गियर को डायरेक्टली शिफ्ट करके फिर से आप अरेंज कर देते हो। ये कहलाता है सिंगल डिक्लचिंग, जस्ट बिफोर you want to change the gear. But in case of constant based gearbox, first of that of all you have to declutch your engine power from the transmission system. पहले आपको एक बार declutch करना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद में आपको लाके पहले न्यूट्रल पर लगाना पड़ेगा। न्यूट्रल पर आपने लगाया आपने, और न्यूट्रल पर लगाने के बाद में अब आप अगेन जब आप न्यूट्रल पर लगा देते हो उसके बाद में क्लच को आप इंगेज करते हो। पहले हमने डिसएंगेज किया, जस्ट रिमेंबर माई जस्ट पे अटेंशन हियर। पहले आपने क्या किया, इंजन आपने क्लच को डिसएंगेज किया। जैसे क्लच आपका डिसएंगेज हुआ, अब आपका इंजन किसी सर्टेन स्पीड से रोटेट कर रहा था। यहाँ पर आपने क्या किया, जो आपका जो गियर आपका लगा हुआ था, मान लीजिए फर्स्ट गियर लगा हुआ, फर्स्ट गियर को शिफ्ट करके आप न्यूट्रल पर लेके आए। जब न्यूट्रल पर लेके आए, चूंकि फर्स्ट गियर से डायरेक्टली अगर आप सेकंड गियर पर लेके जाते हो तो यहाँ पर आपके जो डॉग्स की स्पीड, जो आपका गियर से अटैच डॉग की स्पीड है, ये आपकी ज़्यादा होगी। फर्स्ट गियर में आपकी स्पीड आउटपुट शाफ्ट की कम होती है तो स्पीड कम होगी। तो इन डेट केस क्या होगा, दोनों के रबिंग के चांसेस आपके बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे। तो वहाँ पर क्या करना पड़ेगा, अगर हम फर्स्ट से सेकंड की तरफ जा रहे हैं तो पहले हमने एंगेज किया, पहले डिसएंगेज किया, हमने यहाँ पर गियर को न्यूट्रल पर लेके आए, अब उसके बाद में फिर से हमने एंगेज किया इंजन करके। अब इंजन की स्पीड को धीरे धीरे करके हम रिड्यूस करते हैं। जैसे भी इंजन की स्पीड को रिड्यूस करते हैं तो इसकी वजह से आपका ये जो आपका शाफ्ट का रोटेशन आपका है, ये आपका इसकी रोटेशन स्पीड कम हो जाती है। और चूंकि गियर हमारा न्यूट्रल पर था तो आउटपुट शाफ्ट का रोटेशन हमारा नहीं होगा। तो इन डेट केस आपका जो भी पावर आपको इंजन से मिल रही थी आपने यहाँ पर रिड्यूस कर दिया, मीन्स आपने जो गियर सेट है, जो डॉग्स है, इनकी स्पीड को आपने कम कर दिया। अब गियर सेट है डॉग की स्पीड कम होने के बाद में आउटपुट शाफ्ट की स्पीड तो हमारी पहले से ही कम थी, जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ डैट it has the speed of your first gear speed. So in this case the speed of the gear, dogs which are attached with the gear speeds, their speeds decreases. Now you again disengage, you again declutch, you again disconnect your clutching, and you shift your second gear. And after when you have to shift your second gear, then the meshing of these dogs and meshing of these dogs will take place, just because of that these two dogs speeds are near about equal. Now you again engage your clutch, and now you transfer the power which is getted from the input shaft, you get it from the engine, is transferred to the output shaft. So in this type of constant mass gearbox, you have to two times declutch your engine to transfer first gear to second gear, or transfer gear from one side to another side. So this type of engine, in this type of engine, constant mass gearbox, this is a major drawback of this constant mass gearbox. Now to remove this type of hindrance or this type of driver's ability, again the double declutching method is also uses driver's ability. Just because of that, not is only constant mass gearbox but also sliding mass gearbox needed driver's ability. Just because of that, after declutching, the drivers have knowledge how much amount of speed it increases or how much amount of speed it increases, so that the both dogs speeds becomes equal and there will be no meshing or no rubbing between the dogs or rubbing between the gears will take place. So the constant mass gearbox, major drawback of this constant mass gearbox is the double declutching. Just because of that, you have to make two times declutch your clutch before before transferring power from engine shaft to the output shaft. And also you needed expert drivers, so that they have a better knowledge about how much amount of speed is need to increase, or how much amount of speed is need to decrease. So to overcome this type of disadvantages, another type of gearbox is developed, is known as synchronous gearbox. Now I am going to explain what is a synchronous gearbox. Synchronous gearbox is equipped with synchronous device that avoids necessity of double declutching. Yes, I have explained you that in synchronous gearbox, जो आपका constant gearbox में double declutching आपकी जो आ रही थी, जो एक बहुत बड़ा disadvantage था आपका, उसको ओवरकम कर दिया है synchronous gearbox में. And again, synchronizing means matching the speeds, and automatic arrangement for matching the speed engaging dogs is called synchromeshing, and the gearbox equipped such arrangement is termed as synchromesh gearbox. First of all, we have to know about what is the synchromesh. Synchromesh, or we can say the synchronizing. Synchronizing means matching the speed. So in synchromesh gearbox, we don't have to match the speed. We don't have to use the driver's ability. In case of synchromesh gearbox, automatically the speed of the input shaft and speed of the output shaft will be matched, so that there will be no chance of rubbing of gears as which occurs in sliding mesh gearbox, and the rubbing of dogs which is occurs in constant mesh gearbox. Again, this type of meshing is known as synchro meshing, and the gearbox which use this type of synchromesh arrangement is known as synchromesh gearbox. If you talk about the synchronous gearbox, it mainly consists three parts. One is a ring having internal teeth, एक ring जिसमें internal teeth आपके होते हैं. I will explain all these things in my next diagram where I will explain the working of synchronous gearbox. And the second basic parts is synchronous cone. Yes, in this synchronous gearbox, a cone takes place by which the speed of these two gears will be synchronized and both the input and output side speed become equal. So the synchronous cone in which the male C and female D arrangement occurs, and toothed dogs A and B. So these are the basic, most important basic components of your synchronous gearbox. Now I am going to explain the working of synchronous gearbox. Here I will explain you the working of synchronous gearbox. This is the basic diagram of a synchronous gearbox before joining, you can say before synchronizing of the input shaft to the output shaft. Now you see here that this is the input shaft, this is the input shaft, and the input shaft is attached to the lay shaft of on which you have needed to provide the power. The input shaft is again attached to the lay shaft on which the constant meshing between these two gears takes place. The upper gear is known as gear E, free running on the shaft, and this is a synchronizing cone. Yes, which I have explained you. In the synchronous gearbox, a synchronizing cone takes place due to which the speed of the input shaft and the speed of the output shaft takes place. So this is the synchronizing cone arrangement. Yes, this is the synchronizing cone. Further, springs and balls all takes place. Spring and balls arrangement are for just because of locking of this. You can say these two gears A and gear B, and the locking of these two gears takes place with the help of spring and balls. And this is the sector which is used for moving the gear or applying the gear. Use sector. The internal teeth at the, as you have seen here, that in this internal portion the internal teeth are available. These internal teeth are attached with this toothed gear A and spring and balls arrangement. And again the internal teeth are arranged in both sides, so the internal teeth on the ring or internal teeth rotated on the output shaft. So this is the basic diagram of your synchronous gearbox, and now I am explaining the what is the working of synchronous gearbox, how the meshing takes place in this type of arrangement. So if you talk about this type of synchronous gearbox, when we have to mesh the gears, first of all I will hold the sector and push it, or you can say move it into the leftward direction. Due to the motion of this sector, when the C and we can say that this point C and this point D, when this C and D points come in contact, its arrangement is just like that. I am explaining you that here is a cone arrangement, you can say just like that, and this is again a conical arrangement. When the gear, this is a gear C, this is a synchronizing cone C, and this is a synchronizing cone D. When the synchronizing cone C and D comes in contact, then the rotation speed which is gained by the input shaft is connected to the output shaft, and with the help of this, with the same speed by which the input shaft is rotating, the output shaft is also rotating. Means in this case the input shaft speed is synchronizes with the output shaft speed. but there is some kind of slipping, but this is a type of synchronizing by which the speed of both sectors are attached. After synchronizing the speed, further sector is again moved into the leftward direction. This is diagram which shows that there is a synchronizing between C and D. When the synchronizing between C and D takes place, further sector move into the leftward direction. Now I will just a minute. Yes. Now I will explain you. When the this type of meshing occurs, so the speed of both the internal gear, this internal gear in the input gear and the output gear or output shaft in near about synchronized. After that, the sector is further moved into the leftward direction. When the sector is again moved into leftward direction, then this gear A, outer gear A and the internal gear B is synchronized with each other, and due to this synchronization, and the whole system is locked here with the help of this spring and ball arrangement, due to which no slipping of gear takes place, and in this case gear A and gear B are fixed together, and the power which we obtain from the engine is totally transferred to the output shaft. So this type of arrangement of transmitting power from input shaft to the output shaft is known as synchronizing a synchronous gearbox. And have you seen that in this system splines are available. Spline means sliding of gear just without slipping between the shaft and the gear takes place. So this is the whole arrangement by which we can say the slipping, or we can say here constant meshing of gear takes place without the need of double declitching. Yes, the development of this synchronizing gearbox is the necessity of developing such type of gearbox which don't have any need of double declutch. तो अगर आप बात करते हैं सिंक्रोनस गियर बॉक्स के सिस्टम के लिए, तो इस सिंक्रोनस गियर बॉक्स में हमें दो बार डीक्लच करने की ज़रूरत नहीं होती है। सिर्फ और सिर्फ एक बार इंजन को हम डीक्लच करते हैं, एक बार डीक्लचिंग करते हैं, और जो भी आपका सेक्टर है, सेक्टर को मूव करके आप ए गियर को बी गियर के साथ अटैच कर देते हो। ए और बी की एक मिनट अच्छा मिनट यस, गियर ए और बी को डायरेक्टली आप अटैच करते हो, उसके बाद में क्लच को आप फिर से आप इंगेज कर देते हो। तो इस टाइप का जो अरेंजमेंट आपका होता है वो कहलाता है आपका सिंक्रोनस गियर बॉक्स। सो till now I explained you different types of gearbox, different types of manual gearbox like sliding mesh gearbox. What are the disadvantages, what are the drawbacks in the sliding mesh gearbox? Just because of that we have developed constant mesh gearbox, and in constant mesh gearbox I have explained you what are the advantages of constant mesh gearbox over sliding mesh gearbox, and what is the basic disadvantage in this case of constant mesh gearbox. Just because of that we have needed another type of gearbox which is known as synchronous gearbox. And the yes, you have to note that this is a very important point in case of constant mesh gearbox, double declutching. Sometimes in examination it is directly asked what is the double declutching method, and how it can be removed, and what is the basic reason behind this double declutching. तो आपको इसके बारे में प्रॉपर्ली पता होना चाहिए। बाकी अगर हम बात करते हैं डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ गियर्स के बारे में, आइदर स्लाइडिंग मेश गियर बॉक्स, कांस्टेंट मेश गियर बॉक्स और सिंक्रोनस गियर बॉक्स, आपके एग्जाम्स में डायरेक्टली पूछ लिए जाते हैं एक्सप्लेन दिस टाइप ऑफ गियर बॉक्स विद द हेल्प ऑफ डायग्राम एंड विद प्रॉपर वर्किंग। तो इनके बारे में आपको प्रॉपर्ली पता होना चाहिए कि इनकी वर्किंग कैसे है, आपका क्या अरेंजमेंट है। फर्दर बात करते हैं जो डिफरेंट चीज़ आपको डिफरेंट फैक्टर्स अपने आपको बताए हैं। अगर इफ यू टॉक अबाउट डिफरेंट कंपोनेंट ऑफ योर ऑटोमोबाइल इंजन, देन ऑल दिस कंपोनेंट like cylinder block, cylinder head, piston ring, all these things are very important and frequently also in short answer type questions. Further, if you talk about valve mechanism is again a very important part, and it is directly asks what is explain the valve mechanism of your automobile engine, or further with the help of diagram. And further different types of what are different types of valve mechanism, explain any one type of valve mechanism. So these are the different types of questions which are generally asked, so be prepared for all these type of question. One more thing, this is also another important question. What are the different types of resistances offered in your automobile when your vehicle is moving, and what is the attractive effort, and what is the propulsive power. So all these things are very important, and be careful for your when these questions are asked in your exam. One more thing, prepare your diagram very carefully. Just because of that, the diagrams are very important, and with the help of diagram you can explain your things very easily. So continuously practice your diagram, how to draw your diagram, and with the help of diagram you try to explain these things easily. So I think all these things are over, and I have explained different types of what is a gearbox and the full knowledge about gearbox. Now, one more thing: if you have to go for semi-automatic, then automatic gearbox, then you have to simply explain the same. Automatic gearbox is a type of gearbox when the gear shifting of gear will automatically it occurs, and further the reason behind this type of automatic gearbox I will explain in our next topic when we go for the torque converter and the fluid coupling. When I will explain all these things, then you will know get the knowledge about the automatic gearbox. And if you ask about what is the semi-automatic gearbox, then you have to simply explain the semi-automatic gearbox is a type of gearbox which lies between the uh, manual gearbox and automatic gearbox. Okay, thank you.